Hi, it's Rhiannon, and I'm here to do an unboxing of the Dreaming Way Lenormand. This deck has been around for a while. There's probably 100 or more unboxings, but many people that watch my videos don't watch other people's videos, so it still might be new to somebody. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on it. I'm actually just mostly doing this because this is the deck I'm planning on using because I'm going to be doing our April forecast. So I wanted to just get it going so that I can use it. So far I only have the, it's called the Under the Roses Lenormand. This is the deck that I used on our last March readings. So I have this, and then my first Lenormand deck is called the Gypsy Witch. It's actually the deck that got me into Lenormand. I didn't know what Lenormand was. I didn't even know what this was when I bought it. It was called the Gypsy Witch fortune telling deck. And it got me super interested and super into Lenormand. So this is my officially third Lenormand deck. Yeah, so Dreaming Way artwork by Quan Sheena, written by Lynn Arajo. Now, the reason that I chose this deck as well as the Under the Roses deck is because it includes the keyword as far as like on the fish. It'll say it's the fish. Maybe I can get this open, you guys. Open, open, open. There we go. And this is by US Games and Systems Incorporated. So I'm pretty sure I bought it on eBay. Open. Oh my gosh. Here we go. So most Lenormand decks are a little bit more like your standard card, you know, like a handheld deck, which I'm actually getting used to, and it's making it even harder for me to handle some of my larger Oracle decks, if I'm being honest. Lately, because of this, one of my favorite tarot decks to use is my mini Thoth. So, yeah, this has been I love Thoth decks anyway for tarot, but particularly this one because it's small, and it's just so easy to handle. So anyway, most Lenormand decks are, although I think there are some Lenormand decks that are bigger like a Oracle, but yeah. A little bit about Lenormand is it's more of a fortune telling system. So, I mean, you would think all cartomancy systems are for fortune telling, and they are, but I would say tarot is a little bit more deep shadow work. It's about symbolism, and it's about connecting to the esoteric realms more so. Not that you can't use tarot for fortune telling, but for me the tarot is more about the archetypes and, you know, like the Fool's Journey, you know, like seeing yourself in these different characters of the tarot. To me, that's what the tarot is about, right? Like if I pulled the Devil, for instance, what can this Devil card tell me about my own inner addictions or, you know, attachments and things like that, where it's a lot more deep. There's so many levels to what each of the tarot cards mean. The Oracle is, you know, its own tool because it's just very much up to the artist and the author's interpretation. So, you know, it tells us what the energy is. So change your focus. That's the energy. That's what you need to know right now, is that you need to change your focus. That's Oracle. Lenormand is just like the tarot. It's a fixed set of cards. So each Lenormand deck will have a rider as number 1. Each Lenormand deck will have the clover as number 2, etc., etc. Okay. And there are 36 cards in each Lenormand deck. Although I will say the Gypsy Witch has 72 cards because it's a mix between Lenormand and actual cartomancy, which uses the regular set of playing cards. Okay, so the Gypsy Witch includes the full 36 Lenormand, and then plus it has additional cards. Okay, that still works more like a Lenormand. So anyways, these are really kind of soft, kind of like watercolor images. Here's the back of the card. Each back looks the same. So, yeah, I don't really actually know why I felt like I needed another Lenormand deck, because again, they're so similar to each other. I actually got more than one, not just because of like the imagery or because I like the look of the deck, is that there's certain, layouts you can use with Lenormand, such as like the Grand Tableau, where you can actually layer Lenormand. So I could put them all out, and then I would like layer another card on top of that. So then we'd have the Rider plus the Cross. Because right now in standard Lenormand spreads, the card represents something on its own, and it always also changes based on what it's next to, in front of, behind, you know, vice versa, stuff like that. So anyway, we're not going to, again, get completely into how to read Lenormand, but just to do a quick unboxing. And so here's the Rider, which represents either a gentleman or something coming in quickly, okay? So if I got the Rider, the Clover, I would know that you had luck coming in, maybe something that you'd been waiting for, something was going to change in your favor very quickly, because we had Rider, Clover. Does that make sense? Okay, so we have the Clover, which is, you know, luck, prosperity, money, the Ship, travel, vacation, moving, movement, okay? I don't really know how I feel about this Ship, because, you know, in this depiction, we have these stormy clouds. So I don't necessarily, you know, view the Ship as a negative card. It could be, depending on what it's next to. So I prefer it to be a little bit neutral than this, because again, this shows to me like some stormy weather coming up, but whatever. The House, which represents actually your physical house, where you live, maybe moving to a new house, where you grew up as a child. And again, it can change based on what it's next to. The Tree, which represents your foundation, your body, your health, your ancestry. So your roots to your family, your roots to your ancestors, physical well-being, spiritual well-being, and mental well-being is the Tree. Clouds. Now this one's interesting too. It's kind of cute because it's a little coffee cup, but to me this is too cutesy, because the Clouds is a card that represents a negative outcome. So it means there's storms coming, there's challenges and difficulties coming, and I don't really know that I think the coffee cup gives you that, but whatever. The Snake. So the Snake represents a person who's dishonest, you know, sneaky, untrustworthy, a liar, basically. Coffin, so it represents death, and similar to the Death card in the tarot, typically represents the ending of something, right? Not necessarily a physical death, although it could represent a physical death, but it represents the ending. The Bouquet. Now see, this is where it gets a little bit different. So like in my Under the Roses, it's not the bouquet, it's the lilies. And the lilies represent somebody that's a little bit older in age, somebody that's wiser, wisdom. And I'm assuming that's the same thing here with the bouquet, but I'm going to look up in this cute little guidebook. It is pretty adorable, I will say. The guidebook is. Let's look up the bouquet. When you take a flower in your hand and really look at it, it's your world for the moment. I want to give that world to someone else. The bouquet card represents much more than a bunch of pretty flowers. You might see somewhere these lovely flowers have been carefully selected, arranged, tied with a bow, and are ready to be offered as a gift. So I actually don't think this is the same. This is more of a gift. Keyword: affection, contentment, serenity, intimacy, gift, understanding, and clarity. Okay. So, and you guys, I am still pretty new to Lenormand, so I actually could be there. Maybe we have a bouquet and a lilies in every deck. I actually am starting to think that that's true. I mean, even though that I've done probably 30 or so readings with Lenormand now, in comparison to tarot and oracle, it's still not that many. So you're not going to have every card come up. I mean, there's still, in like 2-3 years that I've been doing readings, there's still cards that I've never come up in a deck. There's cards that are more rare that wouldn't come up. Okay, this is called the scythe, or you could call it a sickle, but it means cutting away of something. Something's going to be cut out. So similar to death, like an ending, something that needs to be cut and stopped. The whip, which it can represent sex. It can represent pain, somebody causing you pain. And so that, again, it can be like a sexy kind of energy as well. Also represents repetition, routines, because, you know, a whip, you're going to repeatedly hit something. Practice, punishment, arguments, rituals, habits. Okay, it's number 11. The birds. So this represents communication, a friendship with somebody, talking with somebody, information coming through. It can mean gossip, advice, signs, lessons. Okay. The child. So this can represent a literal child, like having a child, somebody with a child. It can represent you as your inner child, like your innocence or your life when you were younger. Especially if, like, for instance, this was next to the house, then that would represent like where you grew up as a child. Youthfulness, cheerful, honesty, open-minded, inexperienced, naive, etc. All the things that would be, you know, ways you could talk about a child. The fox. So similar to the snake, the fox is somebody, so not necessarily a liar, but this person's just like manipulative. They're cunning, very smart, very like a shrewd business person would be a fox. So they could still be honest, but they're cutthroat, definitely looking out for their own best interest other than other people's. Although it still can mean deception, charm, manipulation, betrayal, fraud, agenda, and general trickery is the fox. Okay. The bear represents, it's like a card of protection, strength, authority, power, domination. I see it kind of like a little bit like mama bear, you know, somebody who's going to protect you. Again, depending on what cards it's working with, depends on the positive or negative aspects or nuances of that card. The stars, which that's a cute card, but I think I mean, honestly, I don't really know how much I love this deck. I honestly don't know why I bought it. I definitely so far like my Under the Roses deck a lot better. So the stars are, it's inspiration, guidance, illumination, optimism, abundance. I also see it as something that is part of your soul's path. You know, like something that the universe put in front of you. If this was talking about a relationship, it's definitely like a karmic soulmate twin flame relationship. Something that is part of your universal experience and expansion. Okay. The stork. So this can represent pregnancy, new beginnings, new opportunities, the arrival of something, improvements, productivity, movement, results, etc. Oh, one of my favorite cards, and it is a pretty cute card in this deck, is the dog. Represents loyalty. Like, who is your most loyal friend? If you're a dog owner or lover, you know how loyal a dog is. So it's about friendship, loyalty, devotion, companionship. It's mutually beneficial card, and it's about camaraderie. So that's a friend till the end type of card. The Tower. So unlike the tarot card, it's not about endings like the Tower card is in tarot. This is more about an actual building. So like an official building, like let's think of like bureaucracies like the IRS or a post office or a place of authority, hierarchy, and institution. So it could be like a university. It could mean like a big corporation. So it's an actual physical building, and the energy of it is official bureaucracy hierarchy. Okay. Garden represents like social life, getting out, partying, talking to other people, getting out of the house, community, interactions with other people. It's a happy card. It's a joyful card. Parties, weddings, get-togethers, etc. The mountain that's kind of an interesting mountain. I think it looks more like a cactus, representing obstacles. Okay, so things you're going to have to overcome, challenges, a mountain that needs to be climbed. Choices. So this in my other deck is called the crossroads. So basically representing a decision that needs to be made. You're going to have more than one option. It is similar to a crossroads. Decisions need to be made. You'll have choices, but with choices comes decisions, options, paths, alternate ways that you're maybe not seeing. Mice represents something that's like irritating you, eating away at you, loss, destruction, erosion, deterioration. So it's not a good card. If this is next to money, it's like your money's being eaten away, your money's being spent, your money's being wasted, you know. The heart. So obviously love, romantic love, romantic relationships, companionship, compassion, charity, passion, affection, etc. The ring. It's an interesting ring. So commitment, families, bonding, dedication, a contract like a marriage, right? Obligation, responsibility. So I guess that makes sense why there's a little family in a house on there, because with that ring comes all that commitment and everything else. The book, although in my other deck it's called the journal. So this is about wisdom, information, learning, seeking. Information within information. Look at this little door. It's a doorway. A book, wisdom is a doorway into another place, right? Next is the letter. So it means communication, correspondence, hearing from somebody, receiving something in the mail, like a certain correspondence. Again, depending on what it's next to. Greetings, information, document, news, announcement, etc. Next, we have the man, or in most Lenormand decks called the gentleman. So if I was doing a reading for a man, I would put him in the middle as the querent, and then I would read what's around him. Or if he shows up in a reading, then we know that there's a man coming in. So like for relationship readings and stuff, we would be looking for this. So it literally means a physical person, a man. Same with the lady card, which this is what's on the cover of the deck, the lady. Okay, so we do have the lilies and the bouquet. Okay, good. So lilies, again, representing wisdom, like an older person, an older woman, or an older man. Harmony, it can mean sexuality, purity, virtue, status, legacy, regal. You know, think about a woman, she gets better with age, right? At least that's what I say. Okay, next we have the sun. So similar to the stars, it's something that's like destined, vitality, optimism, success, recovery, inspiration, victory. Anything that the sun is next to, the sun overcomes it. The sun is like the ultimate, you know, positive card, I would say. The moon. So dreams, magic, reflections, intuition, inspiration, mysticism, cycles. I would see it as more of a feminine energy, of course. The key, so something, you know, a piece to the puzzle, something that you need, answers, destiny, resolution, protection, security, empowerment. You know, if you're looking for answers, the key would say that they're coming in. The fish, so this, again, I feel like this illustration doesn't really make a lot of sense for the fish, because fish is about money, abundance, prosperity, profits, opportunity, resources, business, commerce, excess. So to me, that doesn't look like a successful card to me. I don't know about you guys, but the rain and the fishies look really depressed. Like that just doesn't, if I didn't know what fish meant, that doesn't say, hey, money's coming. The Anchor. So the Anchor is things that are loyal, things that are steady, things that don't change a lot. They're commitments. It's very grounded, security, permanent, safety, completion. So something that's long lasting as an anchor. It's always going to be there. And then finally, we have the cross. So this represents religion, spirituality, but it also represents like a sacrifice or suffering, the ultimate sacrifice, ordeals, devotion, unity, faith, obviously religion, doctrine, and spirituality. So that is the Lenormand deck, the Dreaming Way Lenormand deck. I don't love it. It's okay. I'm pretty picky and I'm pretty critical, and there have been plenty of times where I thought that I didn't like a deck and I end up loving it. So I'm not going to say, you know, never say never. I could change my mind. I'm going to clear this, dedicate it, and then I'm probably going to use it in some readings for April. So I guess you can look forward to seeing this deck in some of the next readings. Let me guys know if you guys like this deck, if you have it, if you think I'm being too hard on it. Yeah, as always, I appreciate your subscriptions. Please like, comment, and share. We'll see you guys soon. Bye.